Hi, Julie Rader here with the astrology for the week of September 20th through the 26th. On Monday the 20th, we start off with a Pisces full moon at 28 degrees. This will be happening at 4:54 p.m. here in California, so adjust for your time zone. I did a whole video on the Pisces full moon and how it will affect you specifically in your sign, so I recommend you check that out. But this full moon, any full moon, is about either completion or shining a spotlight on a certain area of our life. And that's why I definitely recommend checking out that video, because it will tell you specifically what area of life, or you can just, if you know your chart, you can look and see what house Pisces rules, and it will show you what is really being highlighted at this full moon at 28 degrees. So also at the same time as this full moon, we have Mercury, which is in Libra, and it is very slow at the moment. At the end of the week, we'll be going retrograde. And it has this beautiful harmonious aspect to Jupiter in Aquarius. So this trine will be happening 3 times in the next month or so. And this is the first of the 3 trines. And this Mercury Jupiter trine in air signs really does give us an abundance of ideas. We might find that it's important to keep a notebook with us, and as we're getting ideas, to write them down, because they will be coming in plentiful, which is perfect because we're at this time where the energy is plentiful as we're moving toward the equinox, which I'll get to that in a moment. So this Mercury Jupiter trine, this harmonious aspect, is wonderful too for learning something new, teaching, and we might find that our mind is very active. So I highly recommend meditating. I always recommend meditating, but meditating will help to focus the mind. And in this way, then during this time, we might even find that we are more articulate rather than scattered, because it is a harmonious aspect. We also, at the time of this full moon, we have Mars, which is in Libra, making another trine, a harmonious aspect to the North Node in Gemini. So this is giving us a lot of enthusiasm, really working toward what our destiny is, and really a collaborative energy. Where can we work with another person or a group of people, perhaps, to make our dream a reality? Where can we work with others to expand the energy to make our idea that much better? So really combining energy. So collaboration and abundance of ideas. I really, really like this full moon. Then the next day, on Tuesday, the moon will be in Aries, because remember, the full moon was at 28 degrees. There are only 30 degrees in a sign. So very shortly after, it moved into Aries. And with the moon in Aries and then Chiron, which is the wounded healer, making several aspects that day, or well, a few aspects, this is a great time to physically work through anything that came up. So the full moon we had the day prior was an emotional full moon. Pisces is very emotional. It's sensitive. It feels all of the energy around us. So when the moon then moves into Aries, which is very action oriented, not so emotional, more of a leadership energy, more of an energy of motivation, getting things done, and Chiron, which is making some aspects allowing us to heal perhaps the things that came up during that full moon. I recommend doing some vigorous exercise on Tuesday. Do something to actually physically move your body, to move through the emotions that have come to the surface during that full moon. And then on Wednesday, we have the equinox. And the equinox, this is the fall equinox for us here in the Northern Hemisphere. And the equinoxes are such sacred times. It's when everywhere in the world has equal day and night, 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of nighttime, of night sky as well. So during the equinox, it's studied, I mean, it's celebrated all over the world. And many cultures and traditions really celebrate this as a time of harvest, being the time of really the final harvest. And I love that it's so close to the Pisces full moon, which could be considered the harvest moon, because in some cultures, I know in China, the full moon closest to the equinox is considered the harvest moon. Some people will consider the October full moon the harvest full moon. Either way, this equinox, the fall equinox, is always a time where we pick the crops, the most bountiful harvest of the year, from the seeds we planted in the spring. So the seedlings that we planted then have grown, and now we are looking at where they have come to fruition. Or if they haven't, on a just looking at it metaphorically, how can we revise our intentions that we made at the spring equinox? What changes do we want to make? So this is also really being highlighted on this day, on the 22nd, as the sun moves into Libra. That's what the equinox is. So during these cardinal times, it's when the sun moves into the cardinal sign, which is the changing of the season, and it becomes officially the beginning of autumn. So now the sun is in Libra, and it has joined Mars and Mercury, giving Libra even more energy. So really a time of examining our relationships, or where we can find balance in our life, or work with another in a way that really is fair. Also, Libra is extremely creative, so there might be more music that comes out at this time, really beautiful music in the world around us. So Mercury, which is in Libra, which I mentioned, is square. So it's a challenging aspect, or a motivating aspect to Pluto in Capricorn. This energy, especially because Mercury has stationed, it will go retrograde at the end of the week. But with this Mercury square Pluto, be really aware of what you're saying, because we're still in the energy. We're just a couple of days after that exact Mercury Jupiter trine as well. So there may be a tendency to speak in a way that's a little too hasty, or jumping to conclusions, or saying things just coming out of our mouth that we didn't really mean to say. Remember, we also do have Venus in Scorpio. Could be more of a Freudian slip as well. So really watch what you say. Take a deep breath. Think before you speak. On Thursday, the 23rd, we have a lot of Venus energy here on this day, on Jupiter's day. We have Venus in Scorpio opposing Uranus in Taurus. So this could bring changes in the stock market or cryptocurrency. This might be a day you really want to watch. Some of the prices might drop, so keep an eye on that. So there could be sudden changes in our personal wealth as well, especially because the moon moves into Taurus. Taurus's ruler is Venus. Venus is opposing Uranus, and the moon in Taurus, its first aspect is a square to Saturn. So it could be changes also in relationships, because we do have a lot of Libra energy as well. And Libra is all about relationships. So changes in relationships, changes in wealth, it could go either way, positive, negative, however you want to label it. Then on Friday, the 24th, the moon is conjunct Uranus. So the moon in Taurus conjunct Uranus, and then also the moon is opposing Venus and Scorpio. So this energy, there could be an energy of overdoing. So watch for that for sure. But again, it's that same theme, because these, other than moon transits, when we have transits like Venus opposing Uranus, or like the sun moving into Libra and Mercury square Pluto, all of these are lasting for a while. I mean, the sun stays in a sign for about 30 days. The moon aspects are ones that only last a few hours. However, there can be an energy to overdo. There can be an energy for rambling, like you just witnessed me doing a moment ago. But again, sudden changes in finances, sudden changes in relationships. Those are Thursday and Friday kind of big themes for those days, which again, my point being, they can really happen all week long. And then on Saturday, the 25th, we have Mars and Libra making a harmonious aspect, a trine to Saturn and Aquarius. This is giving us endurance, the endurance to really study something and focus or write or whatever we're working on an intellectual level, because this is happening in air signs, which rules the intellect, or all cerebral activities. So it's an aspect of great thinking, and what we implement has the possibility of lasting for the long haul. We do have to remember that this is just the day before Mercury is going retrograde. So it might be more of having a great idea on something that you created a while ago and haven't been able to really figure out what that missing link is. Maybe this weekend, the 25th and the 26th, maybe that missing key, that missing link perhaps is figured out. So again, great thinking, endurance, learning, teaching, any projects that you've been working on, you will have more focus and the ability to problem solve. And then on the 26th, we have the sun in Libra trining the North Node in Gemini. This is another intellectual energy. So this weekend really is wonderful time for intellectual pursuits, studying, teaching, writing, anything to do with learning. We also have the moon in Gemini making lots of aspects. So this is also where you can really kind of put things in. Well, Mercury goes retrograde later that day, so maybe not put things into motion so much, but you can start filling in the missing pieces on things you've been working on. And I highly recommend using this weekend for those kind of intellectual problem solving, looking back, refining, revising old projects, perhaps. With Mercury going retrograde, make sure before the 26th, hopefully last month, you backed everything up. But remember, all the same rules apply when Mercury's retrograde, unless you're born with Mercury retrograde. But for the most part, not starting something new. You might find that old things come back around. Even this is time where you might see your exes again, things like that. Not a great time to buy electronics or to buy a new car. Not a great time to sign contracts. If you need to, just make sure you're reading the fine print and editing everything. So I hope this was helpful. If you like the video, please share it, like it, subscribe to my channel so I can continue to grow it. And if you're interested, I'm doing a yoga and astrology series starting next month. So you can go to julierader.com, Rader, R-A-D-E-R, for more information, or click on the link. Thank you.